What is going on, JW Faction? My name is Joshua Williamson. So for this cooking video, I'm gonna try another viral recipe that was on the internet. Now, one of the most popular internet chefs, both on YouTube and TikTok, is a young woman that goes under the name Tini, okay? And she was actually mentored by Gordon Ramsay. And the recipe I'm about to try from her had over 100 million views on TikTok. And it's her mac and cheese recipe. I thought that her mac and cheese looked amazing and I want to try it. So let's get started. First, I'm just making the spice mixture that we're going to season the mac and cheese with. It's salt, pepper, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. Coarse salt, that is. And instead of, telling you all the measurements along the way and putting them in the description box, I'm going to leave a link in the description to where I got the recipe from, if you want to try and make it yourselves. Now I'm currently in the process of grating all the cheese. Now, I'm grating mozzarella, Colby Jack, and sharp cheddar cheese. And no, please do not use the bags of pre-shredded cheese, because if you use those, it won't melt as well and it won't taste as good. Because the pre-shredded bags of cheese have, anti-caking agents on them, and that dilutes the flavor of the cheese. Alright, I got all the cheese shredded. Now I got it separated in half. You want one half for one part and the other half for later. I'll show you later. But anyways, let's get started on the next few steps. Now I'm going to cook the pasta. Now I've got a bunch of water that's on high heat. I'm going to let it come to a boil, and I also season the water with some salt just to season the pasta a little bit while it's boiling. Now that the water's boiling, I'm gonna pour in the cavatappi. And I'm going to cook the cavatappi for about 6 to 8 minutes, or until I eat one of them and it's al dente. What al dente means is it's nice and chewy and soft without it being mushy. Now I'm draining the pasta in a colander. Now we're going to make our cheese sauce. Now in this skilled over medium heat, I have 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to let it melt down. After the butter melts, add half of that seasoning that you made in there. Mix it in until it's combined. Then add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, mix that in, and continue cooking this for about a minute or 2 until it smells like pie dough. That means that the flour has cooked off. After the flour is cooked down, it smells like pie dough, add 1 can of evaporated milk, and stir while you add it, just so you lessen the chance of any big clumps being made. When the mixture starts to thicken in the middle like this, add heavy whipping cream, and mix that in until it's combined. I'm gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard to that, and the rest of the seasoning. And I'm just gonna mix those in until they're combined, and the mixture thickens a bit. Alright, this mixture is bubbling and thickened. Now I'm gonna add 1/2 of that cheese that we shredded earlier. And I'm gonna whisk it in until it's melted and combined. And look at this stretch right here. Now turn the heat off and add that cooked pasta that we cooked before. And then you want to just mix it in with the sauce. I let it sit a little too long, so it's kind of clumped together a bit. Now I'm going to prepare it for baking. Now I got this foil pan, the 9x13 that I sprayed very light with cooking spray. And I'm going to pour half of that pasta in. And I spread it to the edges and corners. I'm going to take that other half of cheese and take half of it and sprinkle it over the top of this. Now I'm going to take the rest of the pasta and put it on top of there. And I'm going to sprinkle all the rest of the cheese that we grated on top. And then I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 180 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to bake it for about 25 to 30 minutes. And then afterwards, I'm gonna turn the oven on broil, and I'm gonna stick this under the broiler and give it a brown, crispy top. All right, the mac and cheese is done in the oven. I'm gonna like rub this fork across the top, see if I can hear any crispiness. Okay, I can. I don't know if that's coming through the microphone very well, but I'm definitely hearing some crispiness on top from the toasted cheese. Now let's scoop some out, and let's see if I got a good cheese pull really quick. Oh gosh dang, it's falling off the spoon. Wow, look at that. Look at the stretch that's happening. Let me plate this up. Alright, now it is time for the moment of truth. I am going to taste this and see if it's a good mac and cheese for me. Did Tini come up with a good recipe? Let me find out if I can get some on my gosh dang fork. Alright. very hot. Gosh dang it. Give me a second. Wow. Wow. Okay, this is freaking delicious. This is very good mac and cheese. Now, when I looked at this recipe, I was a bit concerned about, the spices and the Dijon mustard, adding something a little too different to where I couldn't taste any cheese. But I was wrong. It's very, subtle. It's very subtle, the spices that are in there. And it's very, very cheesy and creamy. That's delicious. I would go on to say that this is one of the best mac and cheeses I've ever had in my life. This, on a scale from 1 to 5, it gets a 5. Hands down. This is very good. All the credit to Tini. She came up with a great mac and cheese here. But if you tried this recipe out, leave in the comment section down below and tell me what you thought, whether you liked it or you hated it. If you liked it, you thumb it up. Hate you, thumb it down. I'm sure to subscribe. Remember the GW faction on a jury 10,000 subscribers. God loves you. See you later.